Too big talking, I fell hook, line, and sinker. Said it'd kill him if I walked away, but it'd kill me if I stayed. But I said that I love you, to save myself. Bang, bang, pull the trigger, man. Bang, bang, pull the trigger, man. 'Cause I don't care about nothing, no, nothing.
Well, good evening. That was abrupt. Good evening and welcome to Tilton Talk. As you can probably see, we're slightly different tonight, as we've got somebody sitting in for young Nick. We've got young Paul.
Young Paul? Oh, I've never been called young before.
How you doing, Paul?
I'm good. Sitting in this chair is a bit strange, you know, with
There's a clap.
the legend that is Mr. Tilton Talk himself.
Definitely Mr. Tilton Talk.
At least I get to meet Mr. Fun.
What a pleasure that is.
It's a definite pleasure, isn't it?
Full of
What a joy.
excitement I can see in his face.
I will read a statement later from Mr. Tilton Talk, but I think we need to get going because there's a bit to talk about.
A little bit.
Just a bit.
Just a little bit.
Just a little bit. Where do we start?
At the beginning's a good place.
Should we start on the game or
Which one?
the last game?
We've had, believe it or not, we've had
Believe it
two.
or not.
Yeah, or no, yeah.
We've had two games. I think Friday, myself personally, was atrocious. I think the game, Chris touched on it shortly, just before we come on air, that we've got nobody on the pitch at the moment wanting to put the foot on the ball and just calm the situation down. It's just Gleeson was a prime example. When he come on Friday night, he done one touch and put it out wide, and then looked at Ensui and said, "Well, why didn't you run for it?
Yeah.
Too far away."
Yeah, that's fine. That's great.
Yeah, I can't agree more. We'll go back. We could have the same conversation as about the Bolton game as well, the home game. It's just I'm crying out for someone to just, like Paul said, just have the ball for more than 5 seconds without being so panicked under in possession or worrying about what we want to do, or are we knocking it wide, are we going long? Just take your time on the ball. And we don't have anybody that, and the two games, we were okay-ish in the first half against Burton, but I think the fact that we were 1-0 up was testament to how bad Burton were in the first half. And then, for a side like Burton to basically, they've beat us in that second half by just coming and having a little bit of a go, putting us under a little bit of pressure, and we've completely folded and capitulated.
And that's why people had to go at Donaldson as well during the game.
Oh, well, I'll be honest, I don't think there's been a player, apart from Vassell, there hasn't been a player who hasn't been attacked over the last 2 days.
Well, I think Donaldson's useless myself. I have fought it for 2 seasons. The guy couldn't hit the back of a barn door. I might upset people there, but he is. No. He's a full of running, but Forrest Gump could run, couldn't he? He didn't get in anywhere, did it? So it's we need a goal scorer, and it's good to see seamless link here, Chris.
Yeah.
Sam Gallagher's having his medical at the moment, so I think that's going to be a fantastic signing for Blues.
I think that would be one of the best ones.
You figure Adams is injured as well, but you look at the start of the season when you had Jutkovic and Donaldson, and Adams was sort of your third striker, maybe out wide as well.
Yep.
And now we're looking at Adams, Jutkovic, Vassell, and if the Gallagher deal goes through, then Gallagher as well. That's a much healthier lineup up front. Especially, I think Redknapp's preferred option would be to go 2 up front as well. I would imagine. If he's got all the players available,
he wants to go 3-5-2, is what he said, didn't he?
Well, if that's the option available, then certainly a possibility.
Lee Hayden reckons Gallagher ain't signing, lads.
Who said that?
Lee Hayden. He reckons Gallagher ain't signing.
Wow.
Whole team is a shambles, says, and Jim. Dean Swift says, these not read their comments. Stop saying Gallagher.
Looks like Gallagher isn't coming.
Oh, well, there we go then. Maybe he's not coming. There's no drive in the centre of the pitch, not enough pace either. Liking the look of Vassell. Hope he gets in the starting 11 and stays there, says Stephen Cale.
Vassell come on and looked pretty good. It looked lively in both games, but you don't want to put too much pressure on a lad who's just come from League 2, and a couple of years before that playing non-league. So,
and Benji agrees with you, by the way, Paul. He says he's not going to upset anyone, mate. It's a very common opinion about Clates. Says Benji. So you got a mate.
Thanks, Benji. He's my brother, you see. Smith.
Yeah. Oh, of course, is it?
Yeah. Thanks. Tenner's in the post.
The Burton game was due to the build-up. Massive question about us scoring goals, and when we scored, the team looked like job done.
Yeah, possibly. I mean, but you have to expect the way Burton played in the first half. You have to expect them to come out and have a little bit of a go second half, and we just look completely unprepared for it. And and like I say, when a team like that, we're better than them. You know, on paper, man for man, we're better than them all over the pitch. But as soon as they had a go at us, we just folded and couldn't act the battle. So
we had no fight. It was embarrassing to watch. And
and again at that point as well, that's the point you want somebody to just calm things down. You know, you want that presence on the ball who can say, okay, listen, we're losing our way a little bit here. Let's just calm things down for 5 minutes. Have a spell of possession. But we didn't have anybody to do that. We haven't got anybody who's confident enough on the ball to do that.
And Gerard says Friday's performance actually put me off Football League all weekend. I don't
blame you, Gerard. Yeah, it was that bad. It was pretty demoralising, actually. Yeah, definitely.
And James,
I feel good. I feel good. James Brown's just made me feel good.
Oh yeah, I feel good. Yeah, we've got Gallagher deal agreed, says James Brown.
I'm just looking on Sky Sports now, and as I came in, Talk Sport said he was at the ground having his medical. So hence why I said what I said. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But
so was John Terry apparently.
That was always
never happening.
That was never going to happen. It was just about to sell season tickets. That's all that was for. Again, another thing from Friday night which is reared its ugly head is Jack Magoma and swearing at the fans at the end of the game. What's all that about?
I didn't see that.
You know, I saw a few of my pals who was there said he was swearing at the Blues fans on Friday. I mean, I'm not a fan of Jack Magoma. No. I'm not. I've never been a fan of Jack Magoma ever since he went through 1-on-1 at Villa Park and fluffed it.
No, on the night game. Yeah.
He's done, and then he done it again at St Andrews last season. I think the guy's lazy. He doesn't know how to play as a winger. He can't track back and cover his fullback. He'll stand if he's scared to put his foot in. I just don't like him.
I'm not liking this because people are starting to agree with you, Paul.
Because I'm good.
We don't normally get that on this show, do we?
No, we don't normally get agreement. No.
Apparently, he's having a medical, so there you go.
So then, I've just heard Gallagher has been stolen by Huddersfield.
Yeah, but the new
Almagier has posted it apparently.
Oh yeah, well, good old Daniel. You know, but from what Talk Sport have been spot on with everything at the moment, and as I was coming in, Adrian Durham was clearly stating that he was at the ground having a medical. So at the end of the day, why would we go on about it all day? And then Huddersfield haven't had Nancy Wells all season, so why would they want to sign him now? They're going to go out and sign somebody else, aren't they? They've got the money, Huddersfield have, to go out and spend 10 million on a striker. Yeah. So what benefit do they get from getting Gallagher to come and play in the Premier League? He hasn't played in the Premier League. He's unproven. Yeah. He's been on loan at Championship clubs. So I don't know. We'll see.
As well. Huddersfield having a great season as well, by the way.
Yeah, they've won 2. Have they got problems scoring goals?
What a joy it is that terrible football teams from terrible parts of the world are having lovely seasons.
We won another Leicester,
well done, Huddersfield.
Yeah, great.
Yeah, well, I'm overjoyed for them.
What did you make of Redknapp's comments after the match? The player supposedly ruined Zola. Oh, I saw that. Yeah.
He's trying to get a reaction.
So destroyed all players' confidence.
He's trying to get a reaction. We know, the fans know that the players didn't ruin Zola. Zola ruined everything about that season.
I disagree.
Good.
Gianfranco, for me, was a good appointment. The problem we had is his mentality is 500 paces above the Birmingham City players. So he's trying to get, you can't polish a turd, can you, as they say.
Where's the good appointment?
I believe the problem we got is Gianfranco never had a chance because of the way the Gary Rowett thing was handled. Now, Gary Rowett, and this has been discussed millions of times, didn't want to be at Birmingham City Football Club. End of. If he wanted to be at Birmingham City Football Club, he would have signed a new contract, and he would have gone into January in the transfer window and had plenty of money to spend and been able to bring the players in. just draw a line on it because we could talk about that all night, and I think
Yeah.
it's been done to death.
Yeah.
I believe Gianfranco, and Harry Redknapp basically said this himself on Friday night, was a great manager for the club. He didn't have the players, and the players he brought in then, I think, was forced on him, like you mentioned earlier. I don't think.
politely disagree with everything you've said.
Disagree.
Yeah, let's have a bit of. Come on, let's have a bit of confrontation.
Listen,
yes, man.
listen. Whether Gianfranco Zola could go into Chelsea tomorrow and make them play the way he wants, and they could win the Champions League and everything, but his appointment at Blues was a terrible, terrible appointment. Whether you want to blame it at the time or anything
Let's
else.
put it this way: if
How many
Harry,
of the players are left of his, by the way, that he brought in?
well, did he bring them in? That's the question, and I don't think he did.
So who did?
Ewan Chester was the one who was in control of bringing in the players. I don't think Gianfranco had a choice in the players that was brought in.
So why make the change?
Don't know. That's the question you've got to ask TTA, who was in control at the time.
I mean,
I've got an answer for everything.
Well, are they
I'm
not
on the
looking
first
at-
A box? Plaster for every sore, me.
listen, that's. We're talking about Zola because of what Redknapp said.
Yeah, Redknapp
Redknapp wasn't here.
No, but let's flip it then.
Yeah.
If Harry Redknapp would have replaced Gary Rowett,
Yeah. I think
Do you
there's
think-
not a chance in hell
Do
that
you-
would have been 2 minutes
Right.
away from going down.
okay. But let's have a look. Gianfranco brought in how many players? 4 players, did he? He did.
Frey, Insu, Keita.
Jukovic was already signed, so he can't really count.
Yeah,
Jukovic.
4 or 5.
And
I
Gardner.
think. Yeah.
So, them 4 players. Check Keita. He's a good player. He's a good prospect. He's not a left back as long as there's a sun in the sky. He's going to be a left winger. He's got no defensive attributes whatsoever.
Yeah.
He couldn't defend anything. He's awful
Yeah.
at defending. But going forward, the guy has got ability.
Yeah.
Ensui, I think he was forced. That was an agent's thing. He was forced on the club, but he's been a good signing. Frey. Listen, I like the guy. I like the
Everything
guy.
Insu has done for us, that performance on Burton on Friday.
Again,
it's gone completely.
He's not.
now.
Let's have a look at this.
That was
How many
bottled.
natural? How
I
many?
mean, a lot of people are having to go at a lot of players over folding and collapsing. And Redknapp said, Redknapp said 4
I
or
agree.
5 of them
I
disappeared.
can't argue with you.
Nobody disappeared more than Insu that game. He stopped chasing his marker. He stopped bombing forward. He just looked completely disinterested.
A lot of people agree with you about Ensui.
If you'd have asked me 3 weeks ago, I'd say Insu has been a decent signing.
Let's have a look at this. Right, Ensui is not an out-and-out right back. He's a wing back. He can't. He's another one like Keita. I don't think he's good at defending. I think he's good in a 3-man centre back with him pushing on.
Okay.
He's got the pace to come back and cover if needs be, but he's not a natural right back. The thing at Birmingham City Football Club is we're used to having good, strong right backs. Stephen Carr, Gary Rowett, Pat Vandenau, people that have been Kevin Ashley, good, strong right backs. We've always had down the Blues. Scott Eiley, Paul Holmes. We've always had good, solid right backs that have come in and been able to do the funnel movement, come behind the centre half and sweep up. And on the left, we've always had strong left backs: John Frame, Mark Dennis, Julian Dix, just to name a few. We've always had an abundance of good fullbacks. So now we haven't got that. We've lacked a good fullback for many years.
This is why he's gone and got 2 today.
Exactly. Now, in Jenkinson, I think that is the steal of the season.
Yeah.
In getting that.
I think it's an excellent signing.
He's an England international. He's had 1 cap, so he's an England international. End of.
Yeah.
He's got that cap. And the young lad, Cohen Bramwell, is a bit of an unknown quantity, but he was a superstar at Hensford. And Arsenal don't go and buy somebody out of non-league if there ain't something about him. So I had people commenting on my Twitter today saying, "Oh, you ain't seen that Bramwell, he's awful." Give the poor kid a chance. You don't get signed for Arsenal if you're not good.
And at the end of the day,
That's right.
he's a left back.
Yeah.
And for all the criticism of Grimes, I'll never say he don't put 100% in. I'll never say he's not committed. He's just not a championship left back.
No.
It's as simple as that.
It's funny,
So
I
if
think
you've
it's
got the
shame,
opportunity to go and get a left back who's actually been training at Arsenal for the last year, I'd snap your hands off.
And he's
for him.
playing in an under-23s team with the likes of...
He played a couple of the pre-season games.
He's played with
in
Welbeck in the under-23s regular. Giroud's been in
Yeah.
that under-23s because of coming back from injury.
Yeah.
You know, so he knows how to play.
Yeah.
I'm not depressing anyone, I don't think.
No. A lot of people are pretty keen on Aqua
Is that Dr. Jones or Barbigo?
Maria.
I think
in Stingray. It's probably
Stingray.
before your
Oh
time.
yeah, I remember Stingray. Maria.
Aqua
Yeah.
Maria.
Listen, I don't know much about this guy. Afire Aqua,
Yeah.
is he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we're
Torino,
going to smash our transfer record buying him.
Looks
So
like it, yeah.
8.2 million, is it?
Harry was out there Sunday, I think.
No, he didn't go. He didn't go.
Oh, he didn't go.
Yeah, he said he didn't need to go, but that Jim Vertry went,
Oh, okay,
and I think they done the deal there. And then he played against Bologna
He did,
yesterday,
yeah.
and he done pretty well.
Okay.
So, Grounds
he's
is
not,
like.
he's not really which position do you play?
Central midfield.
Central
Yeah.
midfield. Oh,
You see, I'm a believer at Birmingham City Football Club. You need an hard man in midfield, and you need someone with a bit of skill.
Yeah.
Now, I always liken my best two midfield partnerships. Now, people are going to rip me to bits here, but I always like Peter Shearer and Mark Wood.
Okay.
Because Peter Shearer used to kick the crap out of people,
Yeah.
and Mark Wood used to just pick the ball up and ping it here, there, and everywhere. And we need a ball-playing centre midfielder. I've always said like a two-guy player that just runs from one end of the centre circle
Yeah.
to the other end, stays in that centre circle perimeter, and just distributes the ball. That's what we need. Like you said earlier, someone to put the foot on the ball,
Yeah.
look for the pass,
Just someone
and
with
play it.
composure, yeah.
I
Now,
think some of our best teams have been when we've had a hard man.
yeah, of course it is.
Yeah.
Birmingham City
Yeah.
is a grafting football team. We're not going to be Barcelona. You know, we pride ourselves at the Blues, and you know this, Chris.
Something
You can
good.
see Blues lose 3-0, but they've worked their socks off.
Yeah.
And you'll clap them off the pitch. You won't boo them because you know them lads
very
in that
often
blue
3-0.
shirt. No, but I have
be
seen
happy
them.
with 3-0.
I know. Listen,
I know
I'm
where you're
being.
coming from.
You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
yeah.
As long as your players in a Birmingham City shirt put in a shift
Yeah.
and they work for each other and they work for the fans and they give the fans determination and commitment, they will never ever get booed or slated.
No.
I
When
think
they-
that's one of the main things about Friday night as
Yeah.
well. The way that
They just give up.
the way that we did
They
fold.
capitulated
Yeah.
in the second half. They
They
did.
did, yeah.
It was awful. It was depression to us. I'm glad my telly kept freezing.
Yeah.
Because you know it done my head in. Yeah, I agree about Gardner as well. I think he's
Graham
he's been awful.
Busby's just put. They brought Gardner in to do that. I assume he means with the composure to be able to play the ball. But as soon as he gets the ball, he could take. Numerous times against Bolton, he had time to take the ball down, and it's straight up.
But was he the composed player when he played for us before? I don't think he was. It was Lee Bowyer and Barry Ferguson. He was in a midfield with Lee Bowyer and Barry Ferguson. Barry Ferguson was the man who was the composed player who sat behind the other two midfielders and held the ball.
Yeah.
Gardner was the sort of person who'd run on to a through ball and bang it in the net. He's never been that player. He was never that player at the Albion. He was never that player at Sunderland.
Yeah.
And he was never that player at B6. So, you know, you can't say Gardner is going to be that player.
No.
I mean, a lot of people are slating Endoy. I liken Endoy to Oliver Tibley. I do. I think he's a cart horse. We know that. But the thing is, the guy's going to run through a brick wall for you.
And that's what we want.
Another Peter Shearer. Peter Shearer
But
was
when you
awful.
have- when-
but he
when you
ran through a
haven't
brick
got-
wall.
When you haven't got that player with ability next to him, he frustrates you because you're desperate for somebody to do something. So then Ndoye wins the ball, but then gives it away with a poor pass, and you think, and that frustrates you even more. Then
It does.
And you forget about the parts where he is actually getting into good positions to break up play, because you're so desperate for somebody to actually get on the ball that when he gives the ball away as well, you know the fans get on his back as well.
Can I just remind people, you know, if you do share the stream, you will be put into a hat later on, and you will win a beautiful prize. And Paul can vouch for me on that.
Oh, yeah, the
some nice
prize is
some nice
amazing.
prizes, isn't there?
Yeah.
Courtesy of Lee from Keep Right On. Thank you, Lee.
Thank you, Lee. Keep right on.
Good afternoon from
yes.
Golden Valley, Minnesota.
I tell you what, that sounds
Lovely.
lovely. That
Doesn't
does.
it?
We should do a show from the Golden
I think we
Valley,
should. I think you should
Minnesota.
invite us over.
Come on, Nigel, get us over.
Come on, Nigel.
Put us up, Nigel, for a week, and we'll come and do the show for you.
And Gardner has at least been better at set pieces this season, says Simon Walker.
Being better at set
I
pieces.
don't know.
What?
I don't know.
What's he doing jigsaw pieces?
We're only a couple of games in, I think so.
I think his set pieces are awful.
Yeah.
I do.
But it is that frustration that we've got. How many central midfielders have we got now that not one of them seems to have the composure or the confidence in their own ability to just keep the ball for a bit. And Tesha, when he first come on loan, I thought there's a kid who's actually all right on the ball, and Gleeson's had stages where I thought his passing range is decent, but
I think
at the moment, not one of them has.
I think we've got a player in the squad that can probably fill that role, but he hasn't got the passing range, and that's Clefton. He is calm. He'll hold on to the ball. But the problem you've got is the other midfielders around him. You've got to protect your player who can hold the ball, haven't you? And we haven't. I noticed against Bolton on Tuesday, we was very narrow. We're playing two out-and-out wingers in Cottrell and Magoma, but we're very narrow in the pitch. Yeah. So you've got two centre forwards that can't break the play up and pull it out. When you're playing 4-4-2, it's all about using the width of the pitch, and we don't do that as a team.
Maybe if his intention is to go three at the back, then that's what he'll use Jenkinson and Bramwell for. Well, if they can be the ones to utilise the width of the pitch, I don't know. With if that's the way he's going to go, he enables you to get your 3-man in midfield and 2 up front, and get your wing backs bombing forward. It didn't work for Zola, but maybe with the right personnel.
I think Harry's Harry's probably one of the most respected managers in the game. We're fortunate to have him. I think the guy is the new Barry Fry for Birmingham in the way he is. Harry Fry, Harry Fry sounds like a chip shop.
Hey, Paul, you better cancel Turkey. You're going off to Minnesota.
Am I?
Yeah, we're invited apparently.
Oh yes, sweet. Thank you, Nigel.
Run away! How do we get there? That's what I want to. No, but as I say, I think Harry was spot on with his comments. I think there's been a ploy by the media, national and local, to get Harry out. I don't think they like him being at Birmingham City, and this is not me with a conspiracy theory. How come every morning on the Alan Brazil's football show he's gone, oh, there's trouble brewing at Birmingham, Harry's not happy, I can see him walking, I can see him. Why say that? You know what I mean? Why? At the end of the day, the guy's come in, he's given him a list of players. We've got 2 numpties in the Chuckle Brothers who've been sorting it out. He's got peed off with it. He's come out Friday night and he said, look, I want a new team. This team virtually got us relegated last season. Today we've signed 2, 3, maybe 4 players by the end of tonight. It says to me that, he wants to be at the club. He can't praise the fans enough. He says the owners are ambitious, they're backing him. That to me doesn't sound like a manager that is ready to walk away. He's just frustrated because we can't get the transfers in.
I agree. I think Harry's the sort of person that would say that if he wasn't being backed, he would say, I'm not being backed.
Yeah. I think his actions would be louder than words.
Yeah, I think so.
And, I think the press need to get off this hatred of Birmingham City Football Club because they do dislike us. There's no doubt about it. And I'm not being emotional or touchy, about being a blue nose. The media do not like us. Even the local media don't like us. Do you know what I mean?
Likes us.
So, but we don't care, So, what I'm saying is, Harry has made a bold statement, and I take my hat off to the guy and say, fair play for you coming out and saying, if I get the players in I want, we will be in the top 6 at the end of the season. I've never known a Blues manager say that before. Ever, have you?
No, I haven't. I don't know. I see it a different way. I see it he's clever.
You're worried.
He's clever. I'm not saying he is, but say Gallagher doesn't come. Say we have been stumped by Huddersfield for Gallagher. Aqua comes in. Nobody else comes in. Say nobody else comes in, or one more player comes in. Right, so we've signed 2 today. We get Aqua and one more maybe comes in. Based on the last 2 performances, where he's come out in his interview at home to Bolton, and he's saying I couldn't wait for the final whistle to take the draw, and then away at Burton, where he's basically slammed 6 or 7 of those players and said they've gone hiding and they don't deserve to play for Blues. If we only get 4 players in before the end of the window, that's his way out.
Yeah.
He says I can't work with these players. Do you know what I mean?
You know what?
We've
had that much crap over the last few years. I can understand why Blues fans get a bit twitchy and think, oh, it's then all rosy. Nigel Clough himself, on Friday, interviewed and said, you don't know how hard it is to loan players now. You know, we contacted a Premier League club today, he said, and they've told us we've got to pay £1 million to loan the player. Harry Redknapp said exactly the same, but because Harry said it, he wants to leave. He's frustrated. Nigel Clough says it, and they go, "Oh, it's oh no, Nigel, it's hard."
Nigel Clough isn't over 70. Yeah. Nigel Clough doesn't. Nigel Clough will be in Football Management.
All I'll say,
Harry doesn't need.
I'm going to put this to bed with this. He's 70 years old. Why sign a contract for 12 months then?
Because he thought.
Why?
Because he had the belief that if he got the players he wanted in, come September 1st, and he's got the squad he wants, then he could actually have a go at promotion.
So
if comes September the 2nd, he hasn't got the squad he wants, and he doesn't think that we can get promotion, what's the point of him sticking around?
Well, it is now 1956 on the 21st of August. We're nowhere near the 1st of September yet.
No, agreed, yeah.
So let's have this conversation.
But everybody's telling us how difficult it is to bring players in.
But the thing is, if Huddersfield got them... Yeah, well, we would take now Wells, but he's injured, isn't he, for 6 weeks? So, but listen, I think the press didn't expect Harry to stay. They all writ him off, thinking that Blues was going to go down. He kept us up, right? And now they don't like the fact that he's stayed. He's their man. Harry is. How can I put it? He's the guy that goes on all the chat shows. Harry's the guy that goes on all the League of Our Own and everything. And all of a sudden, he's at Birmingham City as the manager, saying how much of a great football club it is. That they don't want to hear that. That's like saying Donald Trump. You know, no, let's go down that. Go down that road. But you know, we are not liked, and I hope people will agree with me on that. Yeah. I can see Brian Johnson can see us signing someone on the. I can see us on the last day of the transfer window, it being a big signing that will shock a lot of people.
Really?
I do believe it. I think
you do know we record this show.
Yeah, that's fine. I never go back on what I say, Chris.
We'll play
I've said a load
after it.
I've said a load of crap over the years.
We're searching for another manager.
I don't mind. I'll apply for the job.
yeah, signing a new manager.
Yeah.
Exactly, Robert. We need to stop being downbeat. I agree 100% with that.
It's difficult. You know, how can you not be downbeat after the last performances?
Well, Birmingham City, we only do downbeat. We only do things the hard way.
Yeah.
We won the Carling Cup the hard way. We got promoted the hard way.
It's in our blood.
We only riot the hard way.
Kenneth says, I agree with you. We are not liked.
We ain't. I don't care what anyone says. What? Look at this then. Sky Sports have announced their fixtures. The Villa have been on the telly. B6 swear. Have you got a swear box?
Hang on. No, we've got this.
So,
and we've got this.
That's good. That's good enough. B6 have been on the telly 4 times, haven't they, so far?
Yeah.
We've been on once.
I don't want to be on the telly.
No, we don't know the win. We've never been on the telly. But what I'm saying is, that's that I'm trying to make the comparison there. We are not liked as a football club.
Premier League club, aren't we?
If Birmingham City, right, had an incident like Middlesbrough and Sheffield United with the fans, we would be up before the FA. It would not be brushed under the carpet. We would be getting fined, multiple fines. I know this because I run for the Blues, and we was told we're not allowed in Block 39 because the club still got a suspended sentence over it from the Coca-Cola Cup years ago against the Villa. So you can't do anything at Birmingham City Football Club. We are not liked by our own council. Never mind the media. Our own council won't even back us. We could have had the National Stadium in Birmingham, but because Birmingham were leading the bid, Birmingham City Football Club, council didn't want to know. They chose the NEC, which is in Solihull.
Yeah.
So you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Don't get me started on it.
Only big signing will be Downing. Fact.
Downing's definitely coming.
Says Dean Pugh.
Yeah, Dean Pugh.
Is
No
that your brother?
relation.
No relation?
No relation.
You sure?
Not that I'm aware
Is that
of.
Mr.
Anyway. it might be someone else.
Crouch on deadline day to put away Roberts.
Funny enough,
throw-ins.
I spoke to someone at the club the other day and said that Crouchy would be a good signing for us. The guy's a prolific goal scorer. No one can say he isn't.
No, I think he'd come as well.
And I think he'd walk to Blues.
Yeah.
Doesn't scream of what we're trying to do this window, though.
Yeah,
does it?
but the thing is,
we're not going down the. Everybody thought it was going to be Harry's old boys
yeah,
coming
but
back in.
Crouchy isn't a long ball player, is he?
Not just about long ball as well, but everybody was mentioning Defoe, Crouch, Cranchar, all the players who were at Portsmouth and Tottenham with Redknapp, and we haven't gone down that route. We haven't brought those sorts of players in, so I think the Crouch link has always only ever been because it's Redknapp, but
I'd like him.
We've shown over the course of the window that we're not going for those sorts of players.
Yeah. Matthew Joyce says, I agree, we're not liked. The press are obsessed with Villa and their huge successes in 1056 AD.
Yeah, 1056 AD. Yeah. 1956 was the last. No, 57 was the last time they won the FA Cup, wasn't it?
And Ray says, it's taken that long to get down. You had to put a deadline on it or move on.
Ray, I think the Downing deal is all about Ryan Shotton going that way. And as much as they deny it, I think the Ryan Shotton thing is being held up because Harry wants to get in replacements. He's got two defenders in today. I think the Flint lad from Bristol City will come to Birmingham. I really do. Yeah. So he's got his strength in depth. He can allow Ryan Shotton to leave. Now, when Ryan come on Tuesday night, I didn't think he put a foot wrong.
No, exactly.
And I've seen a lot of people slating Mark Roberts. Why? I think the kid's a good player. I think give him time. He's one of the best centre halves rated, one of the best centre halves in the Championship last season. He's come to Birmingham City for £3.5 million. I know a lot of Barnsley fans. I work with them on the railway, and they're gutted he's left Barnsley. One of their best players. Yeah. So, I don't agree with this thing about him taking the long throw. I think it's a waste of time. We haven't got the skill set of players. I watched it on Tuesday night. I watched it on Friday night. He's throwing a long ball in, but no one's knows how to play a long ball throw. You're not flicking it on and causing a problem. He throws it in, and they all jump up like fairies.
So Crouchy.
You need if you're going to do that long throw, you want Endoy coming to the front post, don't you, or to the edge of the 6 yard.
Sorry, I'm going to have to interrupt you. Birmingham City Twitter account official. You were right. Sam Gallagher has joined Blues on a season-long loan from Southampton.
See, the man who can.
The man who can.
All you got to say is don't hate, just rate.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Who dares doubt
Exactly.
Mr. Smith?
I am Tom. The game's gone. The voice of sport is here now.
And your favourite word keeps cropping up. Cropping up. Troy Deeney.
Oh, get rid.
Troy's not coming to Birmingham City.
He's not
going to come down.
Yeah, that's it.
I'd love him there.
Blow that rumour
but the thing is, let's quickly talk about Troy Deeney. Would Troy Deeney fit into that system of play that Blues are going to in?
Yeah, I think Troy Deeney's good enough to fit into most systems of play. To be fair,
I don't know.
I think he's strong. He's got a turn of pace. His shooting ability from pretty much anywhere inside or just outside the box is very good. I think he'd suit. And like you say, being a Blues, not just being a Blues
he'd
fan,
give 100%.
Just the fact he gives everything for any team.
The guy,
he seems to love football, so
he's a local
go
lad.
down an absolute.
He'd be brilliant. I mean, he'd put an extra 3,000 on the gate.
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
Can I just pop in here?
Yeah,
Pip, she doesn't rate Endoy. Endoy's not there to pass the ball. Endoy's there to break the play up.
It depends what you want to
The problem we've got with at the moment, as Chris has mentioned, we've got no one to play alongside Endoy to allow him to do his job.
Do you know what? Anyone you mentioned, Keefton Bell could come in and do a similar job to Endoy, and I think he'd be very good at it. But
David Davis can do that.
Davis could do. We have got central midfielders, but they're all quite similar. Yeah. They're all quite similar in what they do, and Simon Ford, what's happening with the Aqua from Torino? If we can get him in and he could be the one to get his foot on the ball and show a bit of composure and actually get us ticking through the gears. Then Ndoye and Kieftenbeld and Davis all have become much better players because we've got that ability next to us.
I still think that deal will go through, myself.
Which one?
The Aqua.
It's got that's going through. That's happening. That's happening. It's just work permit stuff. That's happening. That deal's happening. Blues are spending. Yes, folks, £8.2 million, which is nothing in this day. It's nothing. You know, it's like signing Eamon Dolan back in 1990.
What I'd say about, you mentioned Shotton as well. And I just want to on Tuesday night. I wanted to give Shotton. It looks like he is going to go. If we can get Flint in or Bassong comes in, who's been on trial, one of those. If Harry can get the cover and Shotton moves to Middlesbrough, in the modern day where it seems like nobody wants to play for their club, do you know what I mean? How many players are itching for moves away and they're not in matchday squads because their heads aren't right or whatever the line is. I think Shotton hasn't said a word about wanting out.
No.
And he was in the matchday squad against Bolton, and like you said, he come on for Morrison. I didn't think he put a foot wrong.
No, I like Shotton and
so if it is to be the end for him,
good luck.
Thanks for all your efforts and massive good luck to him.
Ultimate professional.
Top professional.
I agree. And I honestly do think the only reason the Downing deal hasn't gone through yet, and I think Downing could be that player that comes in and he's going to be a midfielder. He's coming in as a midfielder. He's not the player he was when he was coming down the wing, but he has got that intelligence in his head, and being a centre midfielder with putting your foot on the ball, it's all about intelligence and seeing a pass 3 passes ahead, and we haven't had that for many years since Barry Ferguson. Barry Ferguson was that type of player that could see 3 passes ahead, so Scott, I agree. I'd love to get Flint in as well, and I think he will come to Blues. I think we've all panicked. Harry's panicked, we've panicked, but today we've signed 3 players. When was the last time we signed 3 players in a day? Was it when David Sullivan first took over and we had the Magnificent Seven coming on their first day? Paul Molden, Andy Saville, Scott Eiley, George Harris.
No, it was we did that with what's it as well, didn't we? In our first Premier League season.
Oh yes, on the transfer day.
To Gary Clements and Upson, was it? I think
Upson and Jamie Clapham. I remember.
Love shots, but you can't fault him, says Brian Johnson.
No, you can't fault him for what he did. He struggled last season without Morrison next to him, I think, towards the end of last season. But like I say, nowadays you could name so many. Chris Wood wasn't in Leeds' squad because he was itching to get away, and Coutinho at Liverpool, and the names.
Well,
you go on and on. Diego Costa can't be bothered to come back in the country even. So for him to, he's got as well, Middlesbrough, that's more difficult on here, but it's arguably a step up at the moment. You'd say Middlesbrough have got more of a realistic opportunity at promotion than us this season as it stands.
You've probably just upset a lot of people.
I probably almost certainly. I wasn't here last week, so
I can see where Chris is coming from. At the moment, Middlesbrough have just been relegated from the Premier League.
Just spent 15 million on.
They've just got £60 million in prize money for getting relegated from the Premier League. So they can pay 80 grand a week wages. They've wrecked the transfer window for a lot of Championship clubs by signing Abagabogabogabong from Forest for
also known as a Sombalonga.
Sombalonga. I know that. You're supposed to be Mr. Fun, not me.
So I'm just laughing at Ali Youngson. Didn't Barry Fry sign 7 players a day?
Barry Fry signed 700 players a day and then earned about 50 grand. Anyway, that's another story. But
Stephen Smith. What about Madison from Peterborough? Value buy. Now there's someone that I really rate highly. Technical. We've spoke about how we're desperate for somebody to have confidence on the ball and be able to dictate things in possession. He is certainly someone who can do that. He's got bags of confidence and ability. What I would say is that there is a little bit of baggage with him, and the fact that we haven't gone for Ravel would suggest that maybe Harry doesn't want that sort of player around. And
I think the Ravel thing is down to Lazio more than Harry.
But he's not involved.
The thing is,
Lazio played yesterday and they
Yeah.
had 12 subs on the bench and he wasn't one of them.
Birmingham only offered to pay $3,000 towards his wages, and that's where Lazio have said no. But
Well, then it's Blues' fault
yeah. Well,
and arguably Redknapp's fault.
is it?
Because you say, how desperate are we for somebody to do that?
Well-
for somebody of Morrison's ability.
Well, I don't know. Morrison's. I'm on the fence with Morrison. He on his days.
I'll be on the phone to Lazio and say, tell you what, you tell us how much to pay his wages and we'll do it.
Well, the name's gone out of my head. This lad were interested in at Oxford as well. The Brummy
Yes,
lad. I think we've bid £1 million for him today.
Edwards? No.
I will find.
Somebody's going to tell us. The Oxford lad.
Yeah. Just let Stephen Nally know that we do put the show does go on YouTube as well. It goes on YouTube. It goes on Mixcloud as well. So just let you know. Yes, we do still put it on YouTube. There you go.
Adrian Howell is agreeing with you.
The day has come.
It's Christmas.
Hang on, let me just poke my ears out.
Can you just Adrian Howell?
What a time to be alive.
Yeah, you know why Adrian Howell's agreeing with you? It's because I'm sat next to you and he won't agree with me.
Marvin Johnson.
Marvin
for
Johnson, yeah.
Oxford,
He's a Brummy lad.
Yes, similar to a tricky little player like Maddison from Peterborough, doing well at League One level. So maybe there is something there. But how many names have been mentioned over the last month and a bit?
Exactly,
Nice.
I need to read this out from our Lord, Mr. Tilton Talk, before we go any further, because you'll kill me if I don't do it.
Okay.
Yeah, so, as you probably may know, I'm in France for a few days helping a friend do some work on his house. It's in the middle of nowhere. The street lights get turned off at 10, and the only pub in the village has been shut all weekend, and it shuts at 7:30. I mean 7:30. Do they know I'm Mr. Floor and I could easily fund the owner's lifestyle for the next 6 months? They would no longer need to grow onions, they just need to open till I drop on the floor. On to football, great signings today. Harry has this under control. Please stop moaning. And then he asks me to point at you too.
Okay.
Please stop moaning. I've seen too much of it at Burton. Was always going to be that banana skin once again. It's onwards and upwards, so thanks to Smithy for coming in tonight and taking the chair. The Tilton Talk and SRB radio team are simply the best there is. Miss you guys.
Oh, I'm getting all emotional.
I
didn't give you a note like this last week when I wasn't there.
Where's that tune music?
Oh, yeah.
To get to this.
And all being well, see you next Monday. Where's the nearest Weatherspoons? Ha 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 ha. Keep right on and keep the faith. There you go. Heartwarming. Heartwarming.
Yeah, I just, it's like a Hervis commercial, that
It
was.
was, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was lovely, that one.
I personally think Harry, he acts under the radar like Stockdale Deal. He sent a message and now he has got 3 quality players in today. He wants his team and many clubs didn't see this coming, says Simon Ford.
I think a lot of people will be surprised that we've got Jenkinson in. I certainly think that there's a lot of Premier League teams, lower half Premier League teams, that would have taken Jenkinson, for the season. So the fact that we've got him in is a very good deal, and likewise Bramwell as well. There's a lot of potential in that as well.
I think Birmingham City Football Club today have signed 3 5-star young players, and we haven't signed players of that calibre for a long time.
And this is what I mean about everybody linking Crouch and things like that. We're not going down that route, and really that's what it's nice to see. I sort of didn't want it to be Harry's old boys for one last hurrah. Do you know what I mean? The Cranshaw and Crouch back in and everything, and I'm kind of glad that we're going this way. And Gallagher looked very good for Blackburn last season. And if he can replicate that for us this season,
scored 14 for him,
and we can create a bit more for him. Then alongside Adams and Vassell,
the key is Jukovic now going to be what they call a first team regular? Because in my opinion, Gallagher is 6'4". So he's a target man. He's going to be that player that you play someone like Che Adams or Vassell.
Yeah.
And I think you could see now that Jukovic could become a squad player. I think Donaldson will be gone.
Yeah. I think Donaldson's
his time's up now. He's a poor man's Cameron Jerome, in my opinion. So, and Cameron Jerome was a poor man. So, Donaldson's got to go. Someone like Walsall or something could come in for him. We'll put him on loan. I think we do need another centre forward. I think we're still short up front. and I think we're still.
Even with shape.
I don't know now. I think the rest of this window now should be solely focused on getting one. It might get Aqua in, and then get one more, maybe two more players who are comfortable on the ball in midfield. If that's down in one plus one more, Aqua down in, and then one more.
Yeah.
And do you know what? I'm relatively content with that.
Yeah, a lot of people are agreeing with Donaldson, and people are saying he has been a good servant. Yeah, he's been a good.
You
servant.
forget he's had two.
Yeah.
He's had two quite nasty injuries over the last 18 months for us, where he's had a long spell out. And how old is he now? Mid-30s.
32, isn't he?
You know, so when you have those types of injuries in your 30s, it's going to take you a lot longer to get back, and he hasn't had that time. And when we see what Adams and Vassell are doing, and the pace and the trickery that they're bringing, and then you compare it to what Donaldson's giving us at the moment. You know, Donaldson has provided us with good service over the last few years.
Definitely.
Since he's coming, considering he was a free transfer, he didn't cost us a transfer fee. I don't think you can criticise him for Donaldson. I don't think you can criticise him for the first two and a bit years, and unfortunately his age plus his injuries have hampered him at the moment, and it is time for the new blood to come in possibly.
What's that?
And it looks like it is.
Ravel Morrison, that's not going to happen, I don't think, is it?
You can never say never, can you? I'm on the fence.
That'd be the one. That'd be the one for me. Get Morrison for the season, and I think we look a completely different team.
We do need that spark in midfield. I think Flint is a done deal. I really do. Downing is done deal. Aqua is going to be coming in.
Yeah.
You know, all of a sudden Harry's got 10 players in that he wanted.
It's a busy window, isn't it?
Yeah. And I think someone
without deadline day as well. Yeah. And you joke about it. You're getting all these players in. We don't even know who the Premier League teams are going to be looking to offload in the last couple of days, because they are. The Premier League teams over the next week are going to be bringing players in, and all of a sudden there's going to be players surplus to requirements at the Premier League clubs, and maybe Harry's the one who could, he's nudged ahead of everybody else for Jenkinson, and maybe he could do that with a couple of others as well.
I think the Jenkinson signing, out of all three of them, is the turning point for Blues, because no one would have anticipated Birmingham City.
No, I didn't see us being able to get him.
Chris Jenkinson is a major coup for us. And him coming to Birmingham City Football Club shows it will convince other players to come of that era.
It is a statement of intent. I think the same way Stockdale was. Everybody was surprised with the Stockdale one, and I think people would have looked at us and gone, "Why has Stockdale gone there?" And I think likewise they'll go, "Why has Jenkinson gone to Blues?" But fans can think that. But if players start thinking that, then that even better, because they start piquing their interest in Blues. Then.
Good comment from Mark. I think promotion is beyond us this season. Do we think Harry will give us another season, another year?
How can you say promotion is beyond us? We've played 3 games, 4 games.
Because Marcus says so.
Mark won. Wells just said.
Sunderland.
It is Mark won.
I can remember Sunderland being at the bottom of the table at Christmas. Roy Keane coming in, and they got promoted as champions. Reading again down the bottom of the table just before Christmas, got promoted as champions. It's never 4 games in. It's not beyond us. I'm sorry, Mark. I don't agree with you.
Not beyond us.
I don't agree with you. And I haven't seen nothing in that championship.
I would say
that stands out.
If you're a betting man,
let us know in 10 days.
Well,
ask us in 10 days.
You listened to the Dingles a few weeks ago. That was all good. They were going to win the league by Christmas. They got stuffed by Cardiff Saturday.
Yeah, Cardiff had a good season.
Flipping heck. Come on. Let's get a bit of reality here.
I'm not sure, James, how many loans we were able to...
No, I'm not sure on that as well.
7, I think it is, isn't it?
7, really?
I think it's 7.
So many from the Premier League, or so many from this
some of them classed as youth loans, aren't they?
That's it. Yeah, so I would imagine the Bramwell one would be a youth loan.
Yes, and Paul does think that Flint will come, and he's got 1 out of 1 so far.
Gallagher's in. Gallagher's through the door.
Gallagher's through the door.
We're flying high. We're flying high.
Yeah. How much is Ravel on? To offer 3,000 is a bit of a joke. Even if
20
you
grand a
don't
week.
Yeah, it's got to be nice. It's got to be close by. Ain't it?
Give him 25 grand a week for the pleasure of having Ravel here for a year.
Give him 25 grand a week and some wasabi nuts.
Yeah.
We're not allowed them in anymore. We can only have chili nuts.
A couple of people have mentioned the name Damari Gray as well. I don't think that's a goer either. To be fair, from Leicester, he's not getting much game time at the moment, but he's in and around squads. And
Why do we have to always go back?
yeah.
Let's look forward.
But that like you say, that's a good point, because that's where we're going at the moment. That's what we are looking to do at the moment. We're not looking at older players who are proving, with the exception of Downing. We're not looking at those sorts of players. We are trying to look at people who could be at Blues for the next 5 years or so.
Let's look what Harry did at Portsmouth when he took over them and he took them up. He brought in 3 experienced players and then he brought a lot of youth around them. He brought in Steve Stone, Paul Merson and Tim Sherwood.
Sheringham was there as well.
Sheringham was already there though, wasn't he?
Oh, was he? Okay.
So he had Tim Sherwood there. And then he built a lot of youth players around that side. And that's what I think. If you look at what he's done it at Tottenham as well. He brought in a couple of experience, and then he bled the youth through. People forget.
Bale.
Bale. We were close to signing him while Harry was the manager.
Apparently.
So, you got the guy knows what he's doing. He took Southampton back up, didn't he? He was great at West Ham. He brought them players through. Lampard.
He spent a lot of money.
Of course he spent a lot of money because he's had a lot of money given to him to spend.
Yeah.
But you've got to.
Yeah,
You've got to.
If a team like Bristol City can go out and spend 10 million on
their
someone,
striker, exactly.
that says it all, doesn't he?
Yeah. Jack David Monarch says, wasn't Huddersfield's side last season full of loan players?
Yeah, the striker certainly was, and Moy was on loan from Man City, wasn't he? So. Their stars were, let's put it that way. The people that stood out were on loan,
let's not forget, if we are in the same position as where it got us by Christmas, more funds will be made available.
That's true.
Says Ray.
That's certainly true as well. We could discuss it again, but the upheaval that the change brought last season, hopefully we won't have that this season. So if we are top half-ish come December, January time, I'm sure that January will be busy as well, as busy as the next couple of weeks are. There's the one, Colin Brown, Hugo,
the lad from Preston.
Give them 6 million. If they want 6 million, give them 6 million. Stop messing about for a couple of million. Give them 6 million, because I rate him as well. Yeah. We've got Gallagher in now, but you know what? Give him 6 million. Because I'd like him there. I'd like him down the Blues as well. I think he's a good player.
Okay, he signed for Sunderland.
I don't rate McGeady anyway.
I'm not interested.
He's a big player. He'll play well for 5 games and then he'll go missing for the next 10, 15. We could have signed McGeady when Carson Young first took over. Another swear word there.
Mr. Fun, I love you. Hugh Gill, not me.
Oh,
Hugh Gill is amazing, says James Brown.
Yeah,
so he agrees with you.
Yeah, I like I said, I think the performances he put in for Preston last season, he started this season well. He looks strong. He's physical. He knows where the goal is. I think. What did we offer? 3? Just over 3, was it? And they want 6. Give them the 6.
6 million.
Give them the 6.
Nothing these days, is it? Nothing at all. Yeah. Offload Duke and Donaldson, and get Gallagher and Ugal. That would be just great.
I mean, if you said at the start of the season, Donaldson and Jutkovic out, Vassell, Hugo, Gallagher in, you take that all day long, don't you? Yeah. Along with Adams as well. I don't think he will try and get rid of Jutkovic.
See, we've got rid of Mr. Fun's negativity now. He's getting all positive, isn't he?
I mean, we'll get battered 5-0 tomorrow night.
Oh, God, the positivity's creeping in.
And Adrian
I can see the cracks appearing.
See Adrian.
Adrian's going to come in then. I agree on Ugal, Chris, but only because Paul is in the studio.
Love you, Adrian.
And Pat says he's a player we can build around.
Yeah. I think But that's what I like about the players we're bringing in. I think they are players that could be here 5 years in 5 years' time. You know, I know we're only getting these boys on loan, but if we were to go up, let's look positive because Paul's in the studio. If we were to go up, who says we can't hold on to these players that we've got on loan and they won't want to stay?
Who says there's not been a deal put in there with a loan to permanent?
Yeah,
like
possibly.
We did with Gardner?
Option to buy. Yeah.
Yeah. 2 or 3 people have asked about the loan system, and we.
Yeah.
To be honest, we don't know. We're not that clever.
You know what?
If somebody can have a look on the EFL website and the loan system.
You see, if Mr. Tilton Talk was here, he'd have all this in.
He'd have it
fully prepared.
He would have had a whole encyclopedia document dossier put on the EFL transfer system.
Positivity is rising. Remember, it's the hope that kills you.
It is. We'll get the hope. And
I've never had any hope. I'm a Blues fan, but positivity is there in abundance.
That's it. Yeah. Stephen Smith, what we need is an attacking midfielder to fill the gap between the strikers, as we have enough holding ones.
Yeah,
I think we've talked to that about that to death.
We have discussed that, and I don't think it's so much whether you're an attacking midfielder or a holding midfielder. You could be the guy who just sits in front of the back four. I just want you to be able to pass the ball with a bit of composure and confidence.
All I want is a player that can pass a ball 10 yards.
That's it, yeah.
Stand in the middle of the pitch
and just look relatively assured at what you're doing.
Pivot on his standing leg and pass the ball simply 10 yards to a player in a blue shirt.
God, that'd be lovely, wouldn't it? Yeah.
Can I just say sorry? We can't mention everybody's comment, but there's just been that many. I'm struggling.
If you haven't been read out, put it again, and we'll try and read. We'll read it out next time.
There's just so many, but thanks. Could be good night.
EFL would need to ask China before answering.
Can you believe that? We've all got to get up at 4:15 on Thursday to have a look at the draw.
That's crazy.
Adrian.
Anything for a bit of dollar.
Adrian saying there's a bit of communism creeping into the EFL.
Oh,
my goodness.
Andrew Cave says, I've been supporting Blues for years and feel the positive about the way things are going. I've bought my first season ticket.
Congratulations, Andrew.
Glad, Andrew.
Andrew, fair play to you. I take my hat off.
Good stuff.
Years and years of misery ahead of you.
And Gerard goes on about the mess of the League Cup.
Yeah,
at 4 a.m. That is crazy.
Could you imagine being the guy who has to actually put that press release out?
Let me just.
How could you press post?
Well, you run there.
I just wouldn't do it.
What's the name of the cup now? The sponsor.
Carabao.
So is Carabao a Chinese company?
I believe it's an energy drink, isn't it? Carabao, and I think it's Far East. And
there you go.
Yeah.
They've probably put a load of money in.
Oh yeah, definitely.
You know, we'll have to kick off.
The draw's taking place in Beijing.
Yeah, the cup final will have to kick off at 10 o'clock on the night, just so they can watch it live at 3 in China. So,
I just hope they don't do it at the same time as the Chinese draw and mess it up, and Blues end up at Shanghai Shenhua away in the 3rd round or something like that.
And Dennis has just woken up.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Dennis says loan players' rules are different from Prem to Championship and Championship to League One. It's complicated with the youth loans as well.
Youth loans. That's how you get round it as well. I think. You know, some of them.
You've just added it more cryptic. It's gone from the Guardian crossword to the Times.
Yeah, now we know even less than what we knew before.
Yeah, we're not too bad right now.
What's your verdict on Roberts? Personally, I'm not convinced. He looked poor so far. Lots of room for improvement.
Listen, there's room for improvement, but the guy's played 4 games, and you know he's got to get used to playing in that defence.
How can he say he's looked poor? What has he done wrong?
Yeah. I wouldn't put him at fault for any of the goals we've conceded.
Let's do a Jamie Carragher and highlight him on the screen and over the 4 games. You tell me what the lad has done wrong.
I can't put him at fault for any goal per se.
If anything,
that we've conceded.
The goal that Sordell scored on Friday night, Jonathan Grounds flapped it.
So was that?
Yeah, he did.
And then
he was not.
And countless other midfielders.
Well, just stood back.
Just left Dyer.
Carry on.
Put the lights out that they have on the runway for the airplanes. They put them out for Dyer to go through. waved him through. Off you go.
I watched Mark Roberts on Tuesday night against Bolton, and he stepped up when Morrison went off. He stepped up, shot and come on. But Roberts took control of that back four.
Yeah.
He led the team. He was first at every ball in the air.
I certainly
he didn't put a foot wrong on the floor. He's not a clumsy centre half like Martin Hicks used to be, who used to play for us. Probably a bit too young for you there, Chris.
Far too young.
You know, Martin Hicks, when we had him, remember when he signed? He'd like sort of like kick the ball and it'd go left, right, but not where it went to go. But you know, he's not that. I like him.
Benji makes a point. Well, we're an hour in and we haven't mentioned him yet. Mark Roberts looks 20 times the player John Terry does at the moment. And when you consider they've conceded 8 goals in their last 4 games, I think the way Mark Roberts has started is the least of our worries at the moment. So I certainly think he'll grow into a very good player at Blues.
I do. Yeah. We've had some good centre halves over the years as well, haven't we? So you know, the problem we've got is we're too quick to moan.
And it's an unsure back four at the moment as well. You know, we've just bought 2 different fullbacks in. We've got Stockdale in who's just started as well. I think 10 games in, if we've had Stockdale in goal and a back four of Jenkinson, Roberts, Flint, and Bramwell, if that's our back 5, 10 games in, then I think all of these players suddenly look a lot better.
Martin Hicks is on the show next week. If you're
right, I'll speak to Martin Hicks any day. Paul Marden made him look good.
Okay.
Aaron says John Terry is a season ticket generator. I completely agree. That's what that always was. Yeah.
That's why Harry didn't go in for him. He weighed up. Do we pay John Terry $100,000 a week and blow me transfer budget and get an extra 5,000 through the gate for 4 games and then get the bed sheets,
a few more shirts, yeah.
You know, or do we get a team together and make a proper push?
And if you haven't heard already, if not, where have you been? Gallagher has actually signed tonight.
Season-long loan.
As called by the Voice of Sport.
Exactly, yeah, as predicted.
As predicted, yes.
Predicted, Morrison or Shotton, says Reece Johnson.
Jez, I agree with that as well. A lot of Blues fans want more than they bargain for. Go on, sorry. What? That was the question.
Morrison or Shotton?
That's
a question.
It is. It is a good one. It's a good one.
Vince Iverson. Yeah, that'll answer that one. Trevor Matheson.
I think Middlesbrough wants Shotton. They don't want Morrison, do they? Maybe that answers it. I don't know.
I think Morrison.
I think both have played their part, and I think last season when Morrison was out, that showed how much we missed him. I think he comes back in for the last 2 games, and we keep a clean sheet in both. So
yeah. Granger says Pat
Begley.
And I forgot Martin Granger earlier. How can you forget one of the?
How could you
the
forget?
greats?
A future guest.
Yeah.
You know, Martin Granger.
Yeah.
The master, the enforcer. He was like Blatt, weren't he? The goon. He was our goon, the enforcer.
Coming in soon as well, he is. So there you go. Shotton is very prone to have mistake per game.
Yeah, possibly. Yeah, possibly. He's got more mistakes in him than Morrison.
I agree again with Adrian. Oh my God!
Oh, what?
People, just stop
this
it
is not
now.
allowed to happen.
I know this is. I'm getting a headache here.
Tim Croucher Faraday says he likes the look of Marvin Johnson. Are we in for him?
Yes, we've bid £1 million for him today. There you go.
That's interesting, yeah. Jack Monarch's Almagier was wrong again about Gallagher then, saying Huddersfield had got him.
Don't get me started on that. Please.
No, come on.
Please, no, I can't.
No, come on.
I can't. On in grounds it may incriminate me.
It's your guest appearance.
Listen, Daniel, he's a great guy, but half the stuff's wrong. That's all I'll say.
Just like half.
Everybody guesses. We all guess.
I tell you
it's
what,
being a football fan.
In fairness to
But-
Daniel, if half the stuff he gets is wrong, he's half better than us, I know.
Yeah.
So we don't get anything right.
The thing with Daniel is he is persistent, and he has harassed and harried, and what he has done to get information is phenomenal. So I'll take my hat off to him again there. Yeah, I've seen it. Johnson and Dan were good for Blues. I've got to admit they was.
Joe Caswell wants to know what time the show finishes.
9 o'clock it finishes.
9 p.m.
No, 9,
Hour and a half every Monday.
90 minutes.
Every Monday.
Every Monday.
Talking rubbish.
No extra time.
Talking
No.
crap.
Hey, we'll go back in for $1 million and a Balti pie.
Yeah, on
Marvin
yeah,
But
Johnson.
the good thing about the Oxford link is the guy who's the chairman at Oxford is a season ticket holder at the Blues, and
Really?
was one of the guys that put the consortium together when they wanted to buy Carson out with
Okay.
Peter Pano. He was the one who led the consortium
Right,
with the Blues Trust, and then went to Oxford.
right.
So
So there's something there.
yeah,
then, yeah.
I think you've got more chance of Marvin Johnson joining the Blues than anybody else.
It was Marvin Hagler.
Yeah. Who said that? Just
About
I found quite funny about everybody going to Huddersfield.
While you're looking at Andrew Cave says, what do you think about the bull that Birmingham Mail comes out with regarding who we are signing? Yeah, they do tend to have a good sideways guess, don't they?
Brian Dick.
He's our friend.
Friend
Is
of the
it?
show,
He's a friend of the
Brian.
show. Friend of the show.
I don't.
He's not the only
listen,
reporter. though.
listen, I don't read
If somebody
the
phones
Beano
their
anymore.
office and says we've seen so and so, you know, Harry's been on the phone to so and so. What are they going to do?
Yeah,
Listen, Brian Dick is at the training ground every day.
he is. Yeah, yeah,
Colin Tatum, when he was at the Mail, he would be at the training ground every day.
yeah.
So they're going to be given snippets.
Yeah,
Harry is a master at,
Misinformation.
well, you know, leaking a story
Yeah.
to take them off the scent of something
Yeah.
else. Stockdale come out the blue, didn't it? The Mail didn't have a whisper at that.
Jenkinson,
Jenkinson and the Bramwell
Yeah.
things come out of the blue.
yeah.
So
It was Dave Moore, by the way. I've got
Okay.
to congratulate for this one. Marvin Johnson, Flint, Hugo, and Downing, all on the way to Huddersfield.
hey, I mean, nobody thought the Vassal one was under the radar.
Yeah, it was only around for a couple of days before it happened, wasn't it?
So
Yeah.
you know, the only ones that have failed are the ones that we've been in for weeks. So you know, let's just hope the Aqua thing had gone to death. So,
Yeah.
well, let's look at it. We was signing that other lad,
Anazi,
the Nigerian,
yeah.
Anazi,
That worked
and
for him,
Aqua.
yeah.
It was one or the other. And then when the Anazi deal fell through, Harry said, "No, we was always after both."
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So
He's been in, he's been in football management long enough. He's
Yeah.
not going to get mugged about, is he?
No, definitely.
Donald
Man
Trump's
City
been on.
0, Everton 1, Rooney. Really enjoyed that one.
Race at the second coffin. I think he's on its way to Huddersfield.
Everybody's on their
Morrison-
way to bloody Huddersfield.
Morrison, Roger Hind reincarnated. Really?
I don't know about
Can't
that.
see that.
Lisa.
Can't see that. There we go.
Roger Ryan was the sort of player who'd run the length of the pitch to put one on someone.
Yeah.
So that was
And
Roger.
if he caught them, he would.
Yeah, he would. He'd hit the wrong bloke sometimes. So I don't think Morrison's in that mould.
No.
Vince
No.
Overson probably was.
Yeah.
You know.
Oh, definitely. Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
You
I
know.
love these trips down memory lane.
I know.
Well, you
yeah,
can't
yeah.
remember it. 'cause
No.
you don't go that far down the line, do you?
No.
Yours is a
My
cul-de-sac.
lane is very, very short. Yeah.
It's like an updated version of Tom Tom.
Yeah.
Stephen Cowell reckons that the fifth choice forward should be one of our own youngsters.
Yeah, the Hale
What do you
lad.
think?
Hale.
Hale.
Yeah, I honestly
Yeah.
think Hale. Is it Ronan Hale?
Ronan, yeah.
I think he's got a big future at Blues. The kid's phenomenal.
We need a Martin O'Connor, says Jim Key.
I didn't rate Martin O'Connor for Blues.
O'Connor on the ball, yeah. I mean, he got, you know, he was a captain and similar to Davis in a way. You knew what you were getting with him, but was he really that person on the ball who could calm everyone down and ping a pass here, there, and everywhere? But
Let's do a little shout out because there's a few things going on the chat box I can see are making me smile.
Oh.
So we're talking about Morrison and Shotton.
Yeah.
Let's ask our audience who in your vast years and broad years of being a Birmingham City supporter is your best two centre halves that have played for Birmingham City Football Club. Because I've seen Liam Daesh and
Someone's
Dave
just put
Barnett come
Daesh.
up there, and I tell you, them two were great for Blues. Paul Marden was great for Blues. You know, so that's
Daesh was a hard man.
Daesh. Yeah. I mean, you've heard the story of the Battle of Ancona, haven't you? When he just run into the change room on his own, started battering everyone. So, you know, let's have a look. I'd be interested at that. That's a
in my
good
long
question.
and illustrious career watching Blues, my favourite has been Dan Scott Dan.
Scott Dan was classy.
I liked the partnership, Johnson and Dan, but you could always tell that Dan was the one.
I think
Dan was the
Scott
much
Dan
better
getting injured
centre-half.
at West Ham.
That killed. Yeah,
relegated us.
It did, yeah. I completely agree with
Oh
you.
yeah, definitely. I'll just go through a few that have come in already. Paul Lim, Daesh was a proper centre half. James says Johnson and Dan. Sam says Dan and Johnson. Peirce and Daesh. Dan and Roger Johnson. Yeah, that was a good partnership. That was.
It was a good partnership.
Daesh, Dave Barnett, Steve Bruce, Overton and Old Blake. There you go.
Cunningham.
Dan and Johnson, Cunningham and Daesh, Tebley and Tebley. Spot on. Yes.
Bruce and Ablett. That's not a bad
well,
shout.
there's
Either
some
Bruce
good,
and Ablett.
I don't think it was a good centre half partnership. Bruce and Ablett were marquee signings for Trevor Francis.
They were.
You know, I don't think Bruce had a good footballing season for Blues. I think he was slow. He was.
James McDonald says Todd and Burns.
Yeah.
Colin Todd.
Colin Todd.
Kenny Burns as well at centre half. People forget that Kenny Burns started at centre half
Exactly,
for Blues.
Todd and Gallagher.
Joe, I didn't rate Joe Gallagher. Sorry, Joe. I know you're a friend of the show.
Yeah, he's a big friend of the show.
We're not going to have any listeners left. Celebrity listeners, anyway. Celebrity listeners.
You know what,
Joe was blue
for
through and through, and you can't fault him for that. And I know he still has nightmares of Fulham
Even
in
though
the
he's a Liverpool
semi-final.
fan.
I know he scored the equaliser, but you know, I'm sure. You know, well. Kenny Cunningham was a cracking player, and so was Matthew
Cunningham and
Upson.
Upson,
Yeah.
Great centre half.
Paddy Fry said Daesh would head a bus.
Yeah, it's only because he didn't understand what it was.
That's good. Yeah, Johnson and Dan had the best year Joe Hart played in his career.
Yeah.
Thing is, Dean, everyone was slating Joe Hart when he played for Blues, because I can remember us going to Burnley and losing.
He was.
But he was brilliant for us.
Just sensational that year.
But I can remember going to Burnley. Remember going to Burnley and Joe Hart getting ripped to pieces because we lost 1-0 there, and he let the goal in, and he always had that mistake in him, Joe, which he still has. But we've had some good goalkeepers at the Blues down the years, but that's for another day.
Joe was that season was. I remember Stoke away just after Christmas. We won 1-0. I tell you what. There was no way we could have played Barcelona that day and they wouldn't have scored.
Okay, who was better, Jack Butland or Joe Hart?
Hart.
Yeah, he stumbled then.
No stumble, Hart.
He had a chilli putting up.
You could go through a few goalies, or a Benno. That was a great goal.
Ian Bennett, he's got the record clean sheet, hasn't he?
Yeah, great goalkeeper.
Never 6 foot.
No, never 5'8".
Dean Yates has mentioned that Stoke away. I think it was a header from the one I can remember. It was a header from a corner, and he has got down so quick, right in the corner, so low, sensational save. Just generally, he was brilliant that season.
Ben Foster, a lot of people forget
Foster,
David Seaman, Tony Coton. Let's not start talking about goalkeepers now. We've got a million. Harry Hibbs, Gil Merrick.
We've made 3 signings today, and we're talking about best goalkeepers.
Yeah. Can I just say we're probably on for record comments as well tonight, thanks to that little interjection by Paul Smith. Thank you for that.
Sam Gallagher. That's all I'll say.
Okay. Callum says he thinks Stockdale will be our best goalkeeper to date.
Possibly.
Time will tell.
Exactly. Yeah. I think he's what is he 29, 30 now?
31, isn't he?
Yeah.
I think his distribution. I've been impressed with his.
That long ball.
He's happy. He's happy to get. You joke about it. You could play him in centre mid. His distribution's that good.
Put Kushak in goal.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, stick Stockdale centre mid. Yeah, but no, I think that option. He's happy to get it out quickly, and if you've got Adams and Vassell up front, that could be an option on the counter.
We've always loved a good goalkeeper down the Blues.
Yeah.
I think the biggest legend in goalkeepers is Peter Enkelman.
I think that's a very good shout, actually. Yeah, that's not a bad shout.
I just saw the name pull up column.
I just saw it.
Yeah. So, but Peter,
the worst goalie was the one who let the goal away at Spurs away. He played like one game and he was gone.
Marriott?
Was it? Okay.
Someone
Andy
confirm
Marriott,
that,
when Robbie B. King
Robbie
scored
Keane
that.
nicked round,
Yeah.
he chucked it out. Yeah.
It can't be as bad as Richard Kingston.
I'm old enough to remember Gary Sprague playing for us. So
Tony
God rest
Godden.
his soul.
Tony Godden, Roger Hansbury, Andy Gosney. Yeah, they're goalkeepers that you don't want to
Andy
talk
Marriott,
about.
yeah. Well.
Andy
Adrian
Gosney.
Howell says nobody mentioned the classy Kenny Cunningham. A couple.
Yes, we did.
Saw a couple of Cunninghams with Cunningham with Upson, I think.
Yeah, Cunningham Upson. Kenny Cunningham was class.
Yeah, I
In
quite
a
understand
glass.
this one. It says, Mr. Fun, get Chris to Spa. Tilton Talk special next week. Imagine the crack as Harry's pulling off the wheels and deals. I don't know what that means.
It's
I don't know if he's
transfer deadline day next
I
week,
thought he's
isn't it?
inviting me to go for a Spa with him.
Oh.
No, he said
Well,
when you go
if
to
it's
Spa,
somebody's
get a
paying.
couple of cans and a
Oh,
pork
right.
pie.
Oh, Spa, S-P-A.
Yeah, Spa.
No,
come on.
No, this means
I'll be disappointed now.
The transfer deadline day.
Anyway, moving
I
on.
tell you what we should do. You know, people mentioned about the deadline day.
Yeah.
Us having a deadline day
At
show, our
Wastills.
special. We should camp outside Wastills with our roving mics
Yeah.
for an hour and a half.
Get
until the
Adrian,
deadline
get
day.
Adrian out to come with his
Yeah.
dildo in the background and his mankini. It'd be great.
we'll cut that bit out. Yeah, why don't I just turn up for the EFL draw as well? You know what I mean?
Ah,
what a good
I could
idea.
do that,
Go,
right?
ask
The Watford
Daniel.
Watford.
He's probably over in China.
We'll be round Thursday morning at 3:45, and we'll do a show, a live broadcast of the draw.
Oh
Live.
no, people
from-
are agreeing now. Oh god. I think we should have a charity boxing match between presenters.
What?
I think somebody's been on
Oh,
drugs.
that's come on. No white collar in here,
No,
please.
no.
Yep, Ben O'Hart, Foster, Butland, Hall, all quality,
Yeah,
says
well,
Stephen Carr. Yeah, well.
People want this, you know, this deadline day show.
Yeah,
9:30
yeah, okay,
till
but if enough
11.
people
Callum
want
Patrick
it-
wants it.
And we won't wear yellow ties. We'll wear blue ones.
All right,
We're not going to go Jim White model, are we?
Kevin Kelly. What we'll do, we'll have the show outside Wastills, and then I'll turn up and put my arm out my car window and tell everybody what the latest is.
There's nothing happening here tonight, lads. Oh dear.
Oh god, everything is possible. Window doesn't shut till 11 p.m. Says
Yeah.
James. Okay.
Well, there's someone. You know, let's
Jack
get.
Monnox wants the show. Dave Moore wants the show.
Okay. Give me enough money for charity, and I'll think about it.
Paul, well, we all know nobody is as good as Paul Smith. Remember, you owe him everything, Chris Brown. You owe me everything.
You know, we can't find that comment. On
You
there.
owe me
just
that.
made it up.
I can't say that.
No, I can't see
Yeah,
it. I think you've just made
You got
it
to pin that comment, Chris, because that is a classic.
Robert Doyle wants the show.
up. Yeah. Come on, Chris.
Steve
pay
Tarbert
back our
wants
words.
it.
Oh God, blimey.
Oh dear. These comments are just flying through, aren't they?
So, looks like I'm going to have to go down
Aye.
to Spa then, aren't I?
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks
Yeah.
like it.
It's not on, is it? It's not on.
An interesting point, because how long have we
Andrew
got?
Cave wants it. Oh.
TTA.
TTA.
Who are they?
Good question.
Do they own us?
You're
Yes
going to
or
tell
no?
us. You're going to tell us.
I
Tell me
don't
this
know.
for fun.
I'd like Paul Smith to tell us.
I believe they don't. I believe we've been sold, but they can't officially get rid of us until a certain time frame. And the money that's coming into Birmingham City Football Club, being a bit controversial here, is not TTA's money, it is the new owners.
Okay. And
Interesting.
how confident are you on this assumption?
I'm never confident, I just make it up. No,
Okay.
no, I'm quite confident. Actually,
Are you?
I do believe that's the case. TTA never wanted Birmingham City Football Club, did they? They bought it because they wanted Birmingham International Holdings.
Well,
then
yeah,
they
They're
purchased
just a holding company.
Then they
yeah.
purchased something else on the Hong Kong Stock Exchange, and I can't remember what type of company it was. I think
Right.
it was oil distribution.
Right.
That allows them then to offload Birmingham City Football Club because they've still got
TTA have just had us for shares.
Yeah.
TTA. No, TTA had us as to get the basically on the stock exchange.
I thought Paul was Almagier without the beard.
I have got a beard, but I ain't got that one that long. I tell you,
Paul said we'll be sold to Istanbul Turkish kebab house on the Coventry Road.
it's beautiful.
Oh,
As it, I go past it every
Oh
day.
no, not the one on Cov Road.
There's
the one
a
on the
new one
Stratford
there.
Road.
There's a new one
The
there.
old Shirley Temple.
Oh right, yeah. There's a new one
Beautiful,
on the Country Road.
beautiful.
Looks
Nah,
nice.
it's
Opposite Morrison's. I need to know if it's good or not. Let me know.
Okay, let's get back to this. Marcus Williams, realistically, how many more players do you guys think we are going to get in? 3 players today is good going.
Another
So,
5.
You reckon there's going to be
Really?
5 more players through the door?
I think so.
So we're going Downing, Aqua,
Yeah.
Flint.
Loans.
Go on.
I think Ravel Morrison will end up at Blues.
Okay. Plus one more. A
Yeah.
deadline day special.
A deadline day in Harry special.
Okay.
I mean, that.
Luka Modric.
I tell you, Luka Modric. Oh, don't get me started. One of the greatest footballers in my life.
Oh dear.
I mean, really, if that happens, Harry can't have any excuses about the backing or anything. I know he hasn't made any complaints about the backing. To the contrary, he's made people
Listen.
aware that he's happy with the backing he's had.
Let's have a look who he's signed so far. Then you've got Gardner, which wasn't his, but you got Stockdale,
Yeah.
Roberts,
Yes. Endoy.
Ndoye, the toy,
Yes.
Vassell,
Jenkinson. Bramwell. And Gallagher.
and Gallagher.
So that's 8.
That's 8 players
New
he's brought in.
Well, we'll go 7 because Gardner was here towards the back end of last
But
season.
he still had to
7.5,
rubber
yeah.
stamp the deal. It was a
Yeah.
loan. So if you add Flint,
Yeah.
Morrison,
Yeah.
Aqua,
Yeah.
the Barbie girl, Downing,
Hugel.
and is Hugel the surprise package, or is it Berbatov?
No.
Let me throw that into you. Free agent at the moment.
No.
Big Harry's fan.
No.
No, it's not going to happen.
It's not going to happen.
All right,
Chris
then.
Brown said it.
If we'd have sat here last week and said Jenkinson was going to sign for us, you and Nick, voice of sport, Tilton Talk, Mr. Supremo,
I
would
think
have
we
said,
predicted it actually.
Mr.
We did, we called it
Mr.
like that.
Tilton Talk
Well, I
himself
wasn't
would have
here,
said,
but, yeah.
never going to happen.
Oh, right.
As long as I live in Utoxeter, that will never ever happen.
He don't live there anymore.
He said a couple of days ago he wants 6. He's now got 3 with 2 imminent. So
Aqua's definite. Downing's
Downey
definite.
seems to be definite. Yeah.
Marvin Johnson, there's another one there. There's
yeah.
Marvin. Good old Marvin.
Yakubu.
Yakuba, yeah.
Oh.
I've heard Benjani might be on his way
Yeah,
back.
well, that's the trouble.
Or even
Yeah.
Kanu. He's only 42.
Berbatov, the new Dugarry.
Yes.
Could you imagine?
Listen,
are these players
listen,
coming so close together?
listen,
Have time to jump.
Berbatov is not playing for anybody.
They got the transfer window, haven't they?
Berbatov played for Harry's
International.
World 11 side in the charity game
Did
for Michael Carrick.
So did Terry.
So yeah, let's forget about JT agent number 1 with Steve Bruce agent number 2. So you know, I'm just being. I know this is blase. Berbatov, don't write it off.
James Brown, they will all sign deadline day. We shouldn't miss it, Chris. What do you think?
Sully Montara is not out the question either.
And there's someone who can put his foot on the ball in midfield.
So don't.
Flint won't happen. He'll get Elphick. Or any news on Basong, who was training for Blues. So there's 3 centre halves in 2 messages there.
See, I've got people talking about Berbatov now. See, it's there. I've planted that
It's in the mind.
seed. I've planted that seed. Yuri Geller, eat your heart out.
Harry's probably listening as well.
Why do we want Boone Elphick? We don't want Michael Elphick, do we? Boone.
Yeah.
You know, flipping hell, he couldn't even ride a
Berbatov is going
motorbike.
to Italy. Verona or Cagliari.
Billy the Fish was a legend.
So it's got to be true.
Hey, someone's just mentioned Billy the Fish. Billy the Fish was a Forza Blues legend,
Billy the Fish, yeah.
wasn't
yeah,
he?
He was,
But Forza Blues legend.
Ashley Cole, I would say the Ashley Cole thing would be on the back burner now that we've got Bramwell in.
You're not going to bring in Ashley Cole now. We've signed that
No.
young lad.
No.
I Silver.
And just quick shout out to the England under-19s who I went to see last week.
Of course, yeah, you know, yeah.
Unfortunately, they went out at the group stage
Yeah.
on the Monday, which was the one I went to see.
Yeah, thanks for the phone call as well.
Yeah,
we were waiting all night.
I
for
was ever so, I'm ever so.
It was no fun with Mr. Fun.
I was yeah, I was engaged.
Okay.
But so they went out of the group, but they got to play a World Cup qualifier for next year for the World Cup in France, which will be the under-20s by then. which they beat Scotland 2-0 in that one. So they've guaranteed their place at next year's World Cup, which is excellent news.
Brilliant.
And Blues ladies are on the goal rampage, apparently.
22-0 against the Baggies.
Yeah, 22-0 last week and 4-0 against Spurs this week as well. So
you've got engaged, apparently, so it's pretty all right.
Who's got engaged?
No.
You were engaged.
Miscommunication, that.
Miscommunication.
Fake news, that, Craig. Sorry.
Fake news.
No, you weren't in Dublin. It's
going to be great.
I wasn't in Dublin. I was in Belfast. Yeah.
I like Belfast.
Yeah. Very nice.
Been there a couple of times.
Lovely people. Very, very welcoming.
Was you marching?
No, I was not. Oh, no. The game was in Ballymena, but I stayed in Belfast.
Why hasn't anyone mentioned the Deadline Day special? Yes.
Good question, Paul.
Yeah.
Why hasn't anybody mentioned the Deadline Day
What's
special?
going on, Chris?
My wife's going to kill me.
James Brown says Aaron Lennon, the big Deadline Day signing.
I wouldn't. I'll tell you that's a good shout. That's a good shout, old Aaron.
Really?
But the thing is, do we become a team of Barry Fry wingers then? Barry always loved a winger, didn't he?
I wouldn't turn Lennon down. Let's put it that way.
What about Super Kev?
Super Kev.
Kevin Francis.
What about him?
He's back over here, isn't he?
He is back in the country.
Been sacked.
What, sacked from being a policeman?
I'm only joking.
Fake news.
Fake news.
I wouldn't like
It's going to be great.
Would you?
No. Kevin Kelly, hashtag Deadline Day special.
Let's get it trending. If everybody wants a Deadline Day special,
transfer Deadline Day special.
Hashtag TTDDS.
Yeah.
Hashtag TTDDS. Let's get it trending, guys.
The Evening Mail has linked Bale with Blues Deadline Day special.
What, bale of hay?
Ray, sensible Ray with 5 minutes left. I still think the big Blues signing was Jenkinson today. I think that's a fair shout.
Ray, you're spot on, and you still owe me a point for Yeovil.
It's four hashtags within 5.
Hashtag TTDDS. Come on, folks, get it trending.
Nick Pointer says I'll buy you the yellow ties each for Tilton Talk Deadline Day special. We would all have to wear a yellow tie. If you got a yellow tie.
We haven't talked about tomorrow's game yet.
Yellow
Just
tie.
changing the
Oh,
subject
tomorrow's
quickly.
game. We've got a game tomorrow.
We've got 4 minutes. So,
Should we just do predictions?
Yeah, go on then.
go
Just some
on.
predictions. For
It'll be a
tomorrow's game.
changed team, won't it? I think.
He's already said Jenkinson and Bramwell's not playing.
Oh, okay, yeah. And I doubt Gallagher would have had the paperwork done in time. So, I don't think Bournemouth will bring a good team.
Defoe's starting.
Will they be good enough for us?
Jermaine Defoe is going to start up front for Bournemouth.
Right.
I think we're going to win,
Okay.
and I'm going to go 1-0.
Just the cop open tomorrow.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that was controversial.
That's a bit of a cop out, isn't it? Boom, boom.
Copying.
Well, there's not going to be more than 10k there, is it?
It's only a kids for a quid.
Still 10,000, I think.
I bet they end up opening the Tilton.
Hashtag TTDDS. Come on, get it going.
I think it'll be 1-1 after 90 minutes, and we'll lose in extra time.
We're losing the ABBA.
But, no, I don't think he'll get
Because
that
don't the
far.
winner take it all?
I'm glad we've had Paul on today. It's been lovely.
Thank God it's a one-off.
Thank God it's a one-off. Hashtag bring Paul back. That's the next one.
Oh yeah, Tilton Talk Super Code. Super 6 code is 36RZ75, and I am still the top.
36RZ. You see, I don't even get invited to these things.
No. Well,
I'm an afterthought, alright.
RZ75.
it's really only for people who know what they're talking about.
Hashtag bring back Nick from Adrian.
Yeah.
Hashtag keep Paul from Jack.
Keep Paul. Thank you, Jack.
We have
Send us in the
I've
post.
got to be honest, Chris. We have had a lot of these hashtag TTDDS.
Yeah, no, I'm getting
A
very,
hell of a lot.
very
Hashtag TTDDS.
Okay,
Let's get it tweeting, everybody, guys, as well.
Robert Dole says 7-0 Blues.
Yeah, that's
okay.
realistic. Benji says hashtag bring Paul back. He's been brilliant tonight.
Okay.
Wow. there
See, you
go.
know what? When you up the level of quality,
Do you know what though? You
know.
sold us the Gallagher. You
Yeah, I
sold
did.
us Gallagher, and it come through.
but the thing
What more
is,
could we ask?
you know, you've got to have a bit of quality
Yeah.
in the studio every now and
Yeah,
then, haven't
that's
you?
true,
Just to bring
Yeah.
it up a level.
We have, but we can't get it, so we got you.
That's right.
Hashtag send the wife to the pub.
Yeah.
Who cares?
You're supposed to put the hash all together, Jez, when you're doing an hashtag, mate. Sorry.
It's okay. Okay.
Let's get a gazebo set up at West Hills.
I've got a gazebo.
Ah, there you go.
Yeah,
Don't even need
I'll
to
tell you
buy
what,
one.
we'll get an inflatable cinema with a big screen on,
All right,
and we'll
okay.
project Nick from Utoxeter.
I'm
yes.
getting really worried now.
You are getting worried.
I'm getting really worried.
I'm not Panos, believe me. I'm not Greek.
Now remember at the beginning of the show I asked you to remember you've got to
Yes,
you've got to
I
get
did.
this thing
I did.
into the end
I
of
did.
the show.
So
else it's not going to
So
work.
we've got Bournemouth tomorrow in the cup. Who have we got next week at home?
Reading.
Reading at home.
Mhm.
Important games coming up before the international break. So, and we've still got players to come in. So basically, what we're all saying is, hurry up, Harry.
Just
Good
hurry
night,
up, Harry.
Good night. Good night. Ta-da. Thanks for listening.
Good night.